We got a good one to talk about today. Sellers now rejecting offers to see if they can get a better offer. And then when the better offer doesn't come, they're asking you if you'd want to come back. And this is why I always urge you to get with a good real estate team. And so today we're going to take a look at a property that one of you, a subscriber, wrote an offer on. It got rejected. I said, no problem. More inventory is coming. Don't worry. I'm seeing more and more. I couldn't believe it. I went into an open house recently for one of you, a subscriber, to take a look. And there was a big turnout, and I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This house is horrible. This is a horrible house, and there's people lined up to buy complete junk. And for me, friends, that just does not pass the smell test. And the agents, of course, they act like this is normal. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Do you understand you're selling a complete piece of crap? They're trying to sugarcoat it. Listen, friends, there's one thing left, and it's going to change. Mark my words. You see, in the low interest rate environment, the people are still behaving that way. They still have euphoric recall going into these. There's a lack of inventory, so they're desperate, even now in a high interest rate environment. So this thing's broken. It's going to break further. And so today, one of the things that I wanted to really concentrate on is we're going to look at a property that we wrote an offer on. It was rejected, and now the selling side is calling back saying, are you still interested? Well, no. Basically, we haven't made our offer stick yet. And that's because my advice always is don't fall in love with the property, because if we're making offers, it might not stick. You need to come back down to reality. Now, if you want to just go overpay or give asking price, great, let's go do it. But if you're out there trying to gear yourself to not do that, then you gotta follow suit with what I'm going to show you today. So today we're going to take a look at a property, and the way I look at property, because it's not just price and pictures I'm looking at. There's a lot more we have to look at to understand what's going on here. But the reality is this was a new listing. It came on. We threw them their offer. It was rejected, and now they're calling back asking if we're interested. But guess what's happened since then? More inventory has come on to the market. So clearly everything's about to change, and your market might be seeing the same thing. Maybe yours isn't seeing it yet, but eventually your market will see this. Why, you ask? Because we're in a risen interest rate environment, loan applications at an all-time low. The buyer pool has clearly thinned out, and the economic forecast has gotten much worse. So let's jump over, take a look at a property that we wrote an offer on. It got rejected, and now they're calling back. Then we're going to meet back here to wrap this one up. Let's get started. All right, friends, buckle up, strap in, roll up your windows, lock your doors, maybe even put on that economic face mask. If you still have one, let's blow apart today's property. And as we can see, this is a property that is occupied. We have to do showings around a family, and that is never easy. Now, let's look a little closer. Next up, our property description. We only have a few moments to capture the imagination of anybody viewing properties, and here you go. They bored us to death with a mile-long novel, usually not a good sign for me. Let's look a little further. Now let's jump into some numbers with our estimated value range. This property has a lower value range of $316,000, which is probably closer where they should be pricing at, as we're in a declining market with less buyers to choose from. Now let's see where they're on the market at. Oh, it doesn't look like it's all rainbows and sunshine for this seller. They bought just a year ago at $340,000, trying to get off the market at $350,000 and stuck on the market. They're not even going to break even if they get their asking price. This has disaster written all over it. But wait, it gets better or worse depending on how you look at it. If you were to give them today's stuck on the market price of $350,000, your approximate cost to carry would be $2,300 per month just for the mortgage service alone. Oh, roll up the windows, head back to the car. This property's not penciling out. We have an estimated rent range of $2,100 a month, which means our offer needs to be around $330,000 to get our property to pencil. Let's get back to the studio so we can wrap this one up. All right, friends, welcome back. There you go. So we wrote an offer on this property. It came on the market at $355,000. I talked to our agent. I said, we want to write an offer, $330,000 all cash. Now, the agent said, I think you're going to have to come in around $345,000 potentially to get them to negotiate with us. And I said, just throw the offer. Let's test it. Now, the agent, of course, would have preferred we came out swinging so they could just get down the road and get this one, another deal done and down the road. But the agent understands. I've qualified the agent, explained to the agent what we're doing. And while they might not necessarily like the dynamic they're working in, they're willing to do it. And that's all we need. I always say you just need an agent willing to roll up their sleeves and to potentially offend some sellers. So when we submitted our offer, they said, no, they're holding out for a full price offer. Well, guess what? They're stuck on the market now. Now, if we look at the sales history, when did they buy? About a year ago in 2022 at $340,000. What's that tell us? Well, I'll tell you what that tells us. It tells us that our seller now, after they pay all their commissions, they have to get $355, or they're basically bringing money to the closing table. They're at a break even if they can get their list price. Unfortunately, it didn't come. Now, for us, this particular property, you're never going to find the perfect agent. You'll never find the perfect property. This one, the house looked good, but the layout of the property, it felt more like a condo. It was a really weird layout in terms of its footprint. It just didn't feel right. So for me, I was like, no, we're good. In fact, we're actually glad our $330,000 offer didn't stick, because we possibly would have backed out after we saw the property. We're writing offers on properties before visiting the property. If they get accepted, then we go see the property, order inspections, and you have your escrow period to make sure everything passes the smell test. If it doesn't, you're out. So what we're seeing now is more and more inventory hitting the market. So what it tells us, and as we move into the winter months, it's going to get a little more competitive out there. But make no mistake about one thing. There is one thing I really want to push right now, and that is understanding in the low interest rate environment, you could get away with that type of behavior. Now it's getting harder and harder to do it. There's certain markets that have a lack of inventory that can still get some FOMO buyers out there, but those are becoming less and less common to see those. So what we're seeing now is a complete shift. There's one thing left that's going to just completely flip-flop this whole market, where I've said from early on with this channel, I went from buried in buyers. I had a ton of buyers and no sellers, to I'll be buried in sellers with few buyers. That writing is now on the wall. There's only one thing left to happen now: inventory and price drops. It's going to start migrating all over the country. And final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a real estate guy who wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understand the waters you're swimming in now. Shark infested. Sorry, sellers, you're in the swimming pool, and buyers are getting smart. We're educating them, and it's just protecting people. We have to protect people. In 2008, I wrote an offer similar to the property we looked at today. I watched that property after it was stuck on the market for a year and went through 25% price reduction and caught a falling knife. That's why it's my job right now to protect people. If you love the house and you don't care and you're all cash and whatever, that's one thing. But if I'm going to put you into a house and protect you, I have to make sure it pencils out. Your cost to carry the property is within its rent range if you're pulling a mortgage. This property does that. It pencils out, but that doesn't mean we're willing to go overpay. We're still going to write offers because more inventory is coming, and that's why I'll be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next video. And there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.